What's going on, Archivist? Welcome to the Archivist Almanac, the comeback episode 13. That's right, we're not dead, we're not gone, we still like the game. Contrary to the last pod that dropped almost 3 months ago, I think it's like 2.5 months ago, where we said, this is why we didn't drop GA. We really didn't drop GA. We are still here. I'm your boy, Varni, and I'm here today with my co-host, Panzer. What's going on? What's up? How are you? How's life been?
Well, as I whinged about it in our preamble, I have one underling at work. I'm supposed to have 3 underlings at work. So I am almost 2 months into having to do 3 people's worth of work. I'm very tired, and my ass is still very sore from Vegas.
Vegas,
take that as you will. Yeah, we went to Vegas for the Digimon Nats. I was hanging out with our boy Dan, Lewis, Gino. It didn't go hot for us. We were all scrubs. I heard it was a tough going for y'all. I think I lost more rounds at that Nats than I did all of 2025 combined.
Damn, that's crazy. For those of you who don't know, my last really competitive, I guess I had 2 last competitive forays in Digimon. This is a Grand Archive podcast, but we're just talking about competition in general here. My very last competitive foray in Digimon was a regional in which I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely see myself top 16, placing top 16 at that tournament and going to nationals. I'm going to say I lost to myself. Nothing against my opponent. It was a great deck. I didn't know what it did, and it caught me by surprise. But I didn't pay enough attention to effects. I let an effect go by me that should not have went by me. It lost me the second game that I most certainly would have won, and it would have taken us to a third game in which it could have been anybody's game. That was that one. And that's how basically I ended Digimon. Because right after that tournament basically is when I picked up GA and I played in my first online webcam locals. Hence, can a Digimon player survive Grand Archive locals? But before that, nationals, I had a really big upset, and not in a good way. It was the last round. It was make or break, win and you're in. And I played the mirror, and I know the mirror, but the mirror at that time was literally, it wasn't who goes first so much as it was who sets biting crush first, Panzer. It was Anubis.
Oh,
and
you were on Levy, okay.
I was on Anubis, and I played my 1 or 2 of Levias.
Was that after we brewed the 2 a.m. special?
Before, because this was like EX5 on release. It was nationals. Okay. So like it was. So this was day 1.
Nats. That was the
so
LA
this was
Nats.
Yeah. So this was day 1 to make it into day 2 top cut, make or break, and I didn't get to set mine first. And what do you know? I couldn't go all the way. And bro, let me tell you, no shame. I cried. I fucking cried. That shit was tough. I have never been so heartbroken about a game because I could feel it. It was like right there on my fingertips, and I just felt like I let it slip away. I had lost to Red Hybrid Panzer, and I knew that I was going to lose to Red Hybrid. And I had lost to like one other deck that I was like, okay, whatever, it's okay. We just got to win out. So that last match, the mirror, after I was slapping everybody else up for the whole day, I was like, I know I got this. And I fell short. And it was so tough. So tough. And now here we are in Grand Archive, and I'm a scrub. I'm a scrub.
Hey, you've got another 9 months. No, 11 months to prep for your next descent, right?
No, I'm planning to go to Las Vegas. I bought my ticket for Las Vegas, and the prices are good enough. Unfortunately, not going to Los Angeles. Both Panzer and I were going to go, but Los Angeles tickets are
very expensive.
So, like they've always been expensive. Like I tend to procrastinate when I buy my airline tickets, and I know you generally should book early, but I booked a ticket to Los Angeles before, and when I booked for me and Dan going to Los Angeles 2 years ago, I got our hotel room was maybe like $500-600, and our flight tickets were no more than like $350. But Los Angeles tickets this time, it would require me to. It was 4 digits because I'd either have to, like for me, and not even for Panzer, for me, I'd have to either take a layover in like Boston for like a few hours or wherever it is before I get to Los Angeles on the Friday at like 5 p.m., which is too late because day 0 is RDO, is Pantheon stuff. Or I fly in the day before, but then I'm incurring the cost of staying an extra night and I have to take off another day of work or arrange transportation. And then that was the other thing, like arranging transportation just wasn't easy. So when I factored in how much it's going to cost for me to take the Uber, get to the airport, or have my wife drop me off or pay for long-term parking, get to the airport, and then get to where we're going, and then try to find a place around. Yeah, it was $1,500 minimum. And it was probably going to be more along $2,000 once you consider like finding, getting Uber, because it's going to be, $100 basically to and from the airport, or maybe a little bit less, but it just was not cost effective. And let me tell you guys, for the price of how much it would have cost me to be in LA is the cost of me getting 2 cases of RDO.
2 more cases.
I could get 2 more cases of RDO for the same price as going to LA.
Yeah. So for context on when I was looking at the plane ticket all the way back in like, I think it was like December we started talking about going. Yeah. Cause I was already plane shopping for it and my Nats ticket. The ticket just to fly there and back, just the plane ticket, is more than what my Vegas plane, my room, my food, and my Ubers all cost together.
Yep. And to put it in context, the Vegas ticket that I'm gonna book is in the same hotel that the event is at. So I get to fly in. The airport is no more than like, I don't know, maybe like a $30-40 Uber drive.
Not even. So our Ubers, it varied like each trip. We were going to the same places every time. Sometimes it was like $16 to get to and from our B&B to the convention center, and sometimes it was 30. So I don't know really what
surge pricing
with it, but yeah,
it's surge pricing, but it's going to be way less to get from the hotel to the event center, or the hotel where I don't have to leave because I just walk down and boom, I'm there, play the game and go back up to my hotel room. All for less than $1,000. Now that I can do. So
somehow our Uber distance to the convention center was like 12 to 15 minutes. But if we wanted to walk, it was showing it was like an hour and a half.
Ew.
There's like some kind of like pocket dimension in between. I don't know how that works.
Ew. That's so beyond me. That was the same thing with LA. Every hotel that I was looking at was like, oh, cool. There's like 10 to 15 minutes LA traffic. And it's like an hour to walk it.
Yeah.
So
we did a lot of walking. Every time we went to the convention center, the Ubers would always drop us off on the south side. And then we have to walk like the quarter-mile length of the building to go into the competitor entrance. Because that side was an entrance to the event, but it was the general entry. We had to go all the way around. I've got videos of it. It's long. It was gross.
Ew. But yeah, then we did Los Angeles.
Half-mile walks to the grocery store to get food a couple times too. So we probably walked like 5 or 6 miles for being card players, which is impressive, I guess.
You get your steps in.
I should have Pokemon Go going.
You should have. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Los Angeles, though, it's not happening. Las Vegas, I'll be there. So 3 months for me, actually, I guess.
I was this close to trying to find room to make the Banish Zone one. I know I'd get my ass kicked because I have all of 0 practice in constructed still. That's what it is.
Hey, listen, all I do is get my ass kicked on a day, and it's not going to help that I haven't played. So the reason there's been a content drought is because I've been busy with work. I have a app I've been trying to launch. I have some other stuff that I've been working on, like a deck builder. No, I'm not working on a GA deck builder. As software developers, we all feel like, oh, this doesn't work in the way that I want it to, so I'm going to make my own thing. And the only reason that I would even make a GA deck builder is because the deck builder that I have is already like game agnostic. So it would just be like, oh, this isn't too much work for me to just add it on. But like realistically speaking, like, I don't know, make another tool that's useful. Somebody just came out with like you know what Dueling Book is, right? Panzer, because you played Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. Somebody came out with something like
know what it is. I don't use it.
Right, but somebody came out with something like Dueling Book for GA for Tabletop Simulator. So you can track and replay your sessions and stuff. That's useful.
We had an official sandbox style application.
You don't say. I guess with that being said, let's pop in to the topic of today, which is dev stream reveals. Before we show off any slides, let's just talk about the sandbox, because that's not really a slide, that's a video. Red Zone Rogue made a video showcasing the sandbox and having an impromptu dev interview on his video. So I'll link that in the description down below. And if I remember, I'll throw a card up in the corner here at approximately 15 minutes, editor Varni. But all I can say is that it is not let's be clear. It's not an automated sim. I think that's one thing that's going to throw a lot of people off. They're going to be like, oh my goodness, a sim. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this? It's not Master Duel. It's not Hearthstone, Legends of Runeterra, Shadowverse. No. It is, for all intents and purposes, as they are calling it, a sandbox. It is TTS reskinned for Grand Archive quality of life optimizations. What that means is that instead of you clicking and dragging a card here, and then you have to like say like, oh, I don't know, mind you, I haven't seen, obviously I've never played the sandbox, but this is what I can imagine it will be. Instead of being like, oh, I don't know, you play a Frostborn Paladin and your opponent plays Stifling Trap, and in response, you play Incapacitate. So now you have a chain. It's not like, okay, you put all the cards in the middle on TTS and you're like, all right, Incap, good to resolve, you drag it off the screen, and Stifling Trap, resolve, good to resolve, drag it off the screen. Now Frostborn, good to resolve, drag it off the screen. How it should appear, just again, how I envision it will be, with that same chain, you'll play a card, your opponent will have a window to respond, and they'll be able to like essentially put something onto a stack. It's not going to resolve those effects, but there's going to be like some sort of maybe like an effect stack to help keep track of things that make it easier to play the game and visualize things that aren't necessarily easy to visualize playing a game with such complex reactions and interactions as Grand Archive. That all being said,
they can bump it up to just like old MTG Online quality, which is only like a few automated things. Because that game asked you, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? On everything. So all it really needs to do is like, when it's your draw step, draw your card, auto resolve like damage on things to see if they're dead, generate tokens automatically. And past that, everything else can be manual. I don't care.
Yeah, and so again, we don't know what it looks like. I'm sure the content creators at the Creator Summit will come out with videos on the sandbox, a little bit more in depth than what we're able to provide. But you should definitely subscribe to all the GA content creators, especially the ones who are at the summit, because they're going to have a lot of good information for y'all. Keep in mind, reveal season is coming up. We didn't get a spoiler this time because we suck and we didn't make any content, so we didn't make the cut. But best bet, there will be an attempt for the future to put ourselves back on the reveal schedule. Anyways, that's Sandbox. I'm super excited to finally have a way to play with Panzer that's not just webcam. Webcam's fine. I like playing with actual cards. However, that requires me to be up here, over there, with the camera on, under my computer, segregated from everybody for X period of time while I play the game.
Yep. And I can actually know what your cards that I don't know do. because
Yeah, you
GA
don't have to
also
be like,
gets
what
a
is that
lot of
card do?
objects in play.
What is that card? What does that one do? What does that one do? What did you just play? What did that do? What? Yeah,
It'll
you
be
just
nice to
read
be able
what's
to
on your
actually
screen.
play test some decks without having to either print a shit ton of proxies or order a bunch of singles and then find out if I like the deck, since I don't have access to just go to a store and buy product. I have to order everything in.
Yeah. It's going to be great for players of all kinds, to be honest. And I am super excited for it. Now, with that out of the way, Pantheon. Pantheon or the other reveals Panzer? Which one?
I'll go Pantheon because
okay,
it's the format I'm probably going to play the most of if I can get, especially if I can get local boys. I think I'll have a better chance getting Pantheon local than like competitive 1v1.
Okay, so Pantheon. Let's see. Where do we start with Pantheon? That's the real question. I guess the creators, everybody who was there at the Creator Summit and played Pantheon said, oh yeah, this is phenomenal. I can tell you from the outside looking in as somebody who just enjoys card games in general, I don't care much for like fan-made formats just because like it's fan-made. You know, there's something different when a company supports it to when it's fan-made. And when a company supports it, there's a difference in like card design, right? So like Gundam. I enjoyed Gundam in the beginning for the sheer fact that it launched with both a 1v1, a free-for-all, and essentially like 2v2 formats. And their cards were designed to be used in multiplayer formats. Now, I love Digimon, but Digimon, there's good luck trying to play that multiplayer because it's not made for it, right?
We kind of have an official 1v2 rules for that game thanks to the comic now, but not 2v2
Yeah, right,
rules.
exactly. Thanks to the comic is why we have it. And there's 2v2 rules in that you have deck building restrictions, but you guys are still playing separate games as a team, right?
Yeah.
So it's less fun that way. Now, Grand Archive, all the cards were originally made because I believe when the game was on Kickstarter, they were all made with like multiplayer in mind. It obviously is morphed into this competitive 1v1 game as that's what it's known for. And they're trying to get back to the casual audience with Pantheon. But the cards that are already here were already designed with multiplayer, or at least the idea of multiplayer in mind. Nothing was necessarily like, we have to lock this, make sure like this is like 1v1 format type stuff. So Pantheon just kind of bloop, rolls right in. And one thing I really, really enjoy is the fact that basically the only Pantheon cards I've seen that are locked to Pantheon are things that reference like the crowd fervor, crowd's favor,
and boons.
The boons. Everything else that's like coming out in like Pantheon decks and stuff, they're eligible for standard play, which makes me very excited because I love deck building. If there's one thing I love about TCGs, is deck building. And the fact that there's some fun things that I see in these decks that I want to play in standard.
Yeah, they made a point in the dev stream that the Pantheon dedicated cards are going to be aimed at like politicking and keeping the game going. So they're not going to put any like power game enders in there. They're going to keep those in the actual main set.
And that checks out because, I mean, that's what the idea of Pantheon is, right? I assume Panzer, it's similar to just playing like pods in Magic.
Yeah, it's just a commander pod.
Right.
Because basically the game's already set up with commanders with the champions. So.
Right. And I know some people don't like the idea of like playing the politic game in Pantheon. But for what it's worth, I mean, you really don't need to, like if you're like, let's put it this way. If everybody is getting together to play this casual Pantheon, and because sure, there's going to be like ascent events where you can play Pantheon pods and whatnot. But if you're getting together with a group of friends to play Pantheon and you're like, I don't care to play the politics stuff, you all can agree to not play the politics stuff. And then you just don't play the politics stuff. Like there's that relic that's like, it's like, what's it called? Backup charger. And then a free materialization for your opponent.
Oh
You
yeah, I
pay
know what you're talking
3,
about. Yeah,
or
yeah.
I don't even think you pay 3. I think you just banish it or something.
It's like
Um,
you get to draw, and then someone else gets to free materialize, and you get a level up or something like that.
I think they get to free level up their champion, or no, they get to free materialize a champion. So they still have to pay the cost, and like that's a cool card. I like that because that is a very political card. Hey, you play this for me, and then I play that for you. Like, yes, that's perfect. But at the same time, you don't need to. There's nothing telling that you have to play it. You can play your GCR or something instead. There's tons of other regalia that you can play, or material items. Gosh, I'm thinking of Final Fantasy and I'm forgetting everything Panzer, regalia, and material or materia. But yeah, there's tons of other things that you can play. You don't have to play into any of this crowd favor
Crowd
stuff.
favor is really nice at just keeping you alive too, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll go the same way as Commander. If you're playing lower tier casual decks with each other that go longer, politicking is going to matter. When you start playing like competitive EDH, you're not politicking. Everyone recognizes who's about to kill the table and they try to stop it, or they don't.
Yeah.
It really turns into, like, I played competitive level decks and it's like, all right, can anybody at the table stop my combo? No, cool. Next game.
Yep, exactly. So I'm a big fan of Pantheon. I don't think I'll be able to get anybody that I play like Digimon or anything with into Grand Archive with it, because they're all Digimon diehards.
Just hook me up like they've got Chrome for his locals. Just take the little tablet and be like, hey, we're playing a pod. I'm like, all right, let me get a camera.
That's about like all. Yeah, that's like all I can do. But I'm hoping that like at Mana and Mocha, we have people who just like playing card games. So I'm hoping that Pantheon is just gonna say to them, oh, cool. Yeah, I don't mind just playing this casually, because at this point, I'll take anything I can get. I'll play GA casually, please. I already played Tony. It doesn't get any more casual than that.
I just had a genius $1 million idea.
Okay.
We need to make a table with monitor quadrants so that if you need to phone in a friend who's playing, they can just webcam their play space like you do a regular webcam match, and then it just is that part of the table. Big brain.
You know what? No, we got to take it to the next level. We got Big Brain X2, right? So instead of my desk over here, what I need to do is I need to get one of those acrylic glass tops, buy a cheap TV. It doesn't need to be an expensive TV, just a cheap TV, to place it on the opposite side underneath this acrylic glass top. And then I'm basically playing GA in person, because when you put your card down, it looks like you're putting your card down right in front of me.
Okay.
It's not going to be good. I'm still going to have to
be good
to see the cards.
We'll call this the prototype. Next year, we're millionaires.
Yeah, right? That's the goal. Listen, if you guys know how to hook some guys up with some hardware manufacturing deals, y'all know where to hit us up at, you know? Let's see, what else is there about Pantheon? We got, you should see on Red Zone Rogue's channel too, he also has the Pantheon deck, like quick openings, essentially. All of the content creators got like Pantheon decks and stuff. So if you're interested in Pantheon, again, be on the lookout, go subscribe. That content's gonna be coming out soon. You're gonna be able to get your first look at Pantheon decks, how the cards interact. There's a gameplay video on the True Champion Gaming channel, where they were doing a live stream of their Pantheon game. So you can check that out as well if you haven't seen it. Lots of fun stuff. It's always personally, it's always a fun time for GA. I was watching it today's Monday. It was last night, right? I'm not tripping?
Yeah, it was last night. I stayed up late as shit.
Okay. I thought for some reason it felt like it was so long ago. Like it felt like it was like 2 or 3 days ago. It's always a fun time. I was watching it last night on the couch and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is all so much fun. I can't wait to play some more GA. I just need to get out and play some more GA, but it's not close enough. And I gotta drive, and I hate driving. I gotta buy a battery for my truck. It's the real reason I'm not going anywhere. My truck battery is gonna cost me like $250. Responsibilities, they suck. Anyways,
just tell CSR you're not playing anymore.
I can't. I could sell my Mordred CSR that I So glad I got my Mordred CSR before they went up
like
in price.
$30.
No, I don't think Mordreds were ever that cheap.
They were sub 100, I think.
They were, I want to say, I got mine at 150, I think. So the lowest was like 110 or 120. Because that was the listing I was originally going for before it got snatched up. Like those Heavenly Guides.
Hey, if anyone needs Heavenly Guides.
Let me tell you guys.
I got extra.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about it when we get to those cards. Because I think we should talk about these cards first. And then we can talk about Heavenly Guide and, well, everything that happened with that. So, starting off here, our Mordred Recollection deck. Y'all already know that we're getting a playset of Dungeon Guides and a playset of Frostborn Paladins. Now, if that doesn't scream, hey, go get your buddies into the game if they were ever hesitant because this game's expensive, I don't know what does.
Value. Even with how much their prices have dropped, it's still insane. It pays for more than a deck.
Even if you consider that Dungeon Guides, being a rare, should cost $5 a pop. $20 for Dungeon Guides, and then $30 spent gets you the rest of the deck, sleeves, like a life counter thing. You get this really nice thing that you can use as a deck box. It's a complete deck. You get 3 packs. You get some amount of packs of RDO. I don't know how many packs you're going to get because I don't remember if they changed it because of the RDO set configuration. I know previous Recollection decks, you always got 3 packs of whatever set that deck came from. But it has such enormous value, and it's been confirmed that these cards are just so sought after, so good. You're even getting Snow Fairies. I don't recall how much Snow Fairies are because I don't believe they were too expensive. I know Dream Fairies were more expensive than Snow Fairies.
Yeah, I never saw the other 2 fairies in many lists when I was looking. It was always just Dream.
So Snow Fairies are around like $2. So it's not a bad reprint. You're getting a playset of Snow Fairies. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Let's not even talk about Frostborn Paladin because there was a point that Frostborn Paladins were like 10, $12. They've dropped down. Currently, they're like $5, $6. Words are hard. $5, $6. Massive value.
Even at $5 for those, that's $20, $15 for the sleeves. Like, if it is 3 RDO packs, those are probably like $8 packs. So,
yeah,
even if it's
I'm
2 RDO packs, you're still...
Yeah, I'm going to say it's 2. So that's 2 at $16 value, plus your sleeves, which is 100 pack of Dragon Shield sleeves.
Yep.
Art matte sleeves. Like, it's such good value. If your friends were talking about not being able to get into GA because it's expensive, Mordred is the deck for them. You don't even have to play Mordred because these are water staples that you can take and play in any deck. Now, what else are we getting? Oh, that's not the right stuff. Oops. Sorry, y'all saw a spoiler you shouldn't have seen yet. Panzer, the flawless spirit of Mordred, is a divine relic. Can you believe that?
I like where this is going.
So, Flawless Spirit of Mordred is a water spirit. And it says Flawless Spirit of Mordred can only level up into a Mordred champion. On enter, draw 7 cards, then glimpse 4. So, it's like taking a little bit of the best of both worlds and combining your regular Spirit of Fire or Spirit of whatever, Spirit of Water, together with your Serene or whatever the other one, Fragmented, there we go, Fragmented Spirits, and getting that glimpse. The only difference is with those you glimpse before, so you sculpt your hand. With this, you're sculpting after, which actually is important for this deck. We'll get to why later. It's a divine relic spirit. And more importantly, no, you water fractal enjoyers, you cannot abuse getting your draw 7 and your glimpse 4 unless you commit to playing Mordred, who is a warrior. So yeah, I'm glad to see that that's locked in the way that it is.
Don't worry, they'll turn all their attack cards into floating memory and then still just shoot them at you.
Mordred level 1 Burnished Avenger. So he has the flawless Spirit of Mordred lineage, meaning that he can only level up from specifically that flawless Spirit of Mordred. On enter, look at the top card of your deck. If it's an attack card, you may banish it. And then if you do, you may activate that card this turn. So that's why that glimpse is important. You get to see what your cards are, plan out when you might want to be leveling up. You're probably going to want to level up on the turn after. So depending on how things go, you place it as the second card in your deck. You draw the first one. On enter, you get to look at it, banish it, whatever, because you may banish it. You don't have to banish it. Then, inherited effect. As long as Mordred has leveled up this turn, the first attack card you activate this turn costs 2 less to activate, which is so cool because it means that for playing as many attack cards as you're going to in Mordred, whatever attack you find, your base level attacks are basically going to be free or cost 1. And then anything else is just going to be slightly cheaper, which is pretty freaking nifty. And because that's an inherited effect, and with how much potential leveling you might do in this deck, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I think that's pretty nifty. We keep the same Mordred level 2, the one that has the CSR. Oh, cool. I only got to search out 2 more CSRs. Attack cards in your grave have floating memory. I think that's a super cool idea, and I'm excited to play with it. Now, one thing that was said on Reddit was they were like, I don't understand why both Flawless Spirit of Mordred and the level 1 are water. My theory is that either A, we get other Flawless Spirit of Mordred cards that are not just water, one for fire, one for wind, potentially, maybe. Alternatively, we get other Mordred level 1s that have basically the same idea, basically locking this combo of cards together so they can only be played as intended, because we know the GA player base can get a little bit wild with their deck ideas sometimes. It's very cool, but some things are unintentional.
I think it's going to be the level 0 will have other, if any. But they went out of their way to try and make sure that you don't turn into Merlin in this deck.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you full-heartedly. So moving on, yes, I'm giving this to you guys in the same way that we got them during stream.
They were such teasers.
So Drenching Finish, cool card. I don't know if it'll actually be played. On kill, target player mills 3. Cool. If you care about that as water, that could be useful. I know I'm not going to be playing the deck in that way. So one thing I like better, however, is Dummy Trainer, which is backup charger and summons a training dummy, which you can then use something like Drenching Finish to then get rid of the training dummy. I think that's cute AF. I like that idea. And I think this works perfectly in something like Pantheon. But I also think it's just a super cool idea to have in the game in general, because I like stupid gimmicks like this. I'm not saying it's a gimmick, but there are so many things where it's damn, my opponent's playing an ally deck. My deck, if I make this deck be ally based or have a lot of these on kill abilities, it's useless. Here's Dummy Trainer.
I'm gonna put Dummy Trainer in Assassin Merlin.
Exactly. It's not class locked. Oh, hey, you want to move some sheen counters around, right?
Yep.
Boom. I like that. I really do like that idea. Some other cards we've got. Striking Tides is banish a card with float if you do wake up your champion. So let's go for some combos. Mind you, Mordred level 2. So while you're doing this as Mordred level 2, your attack cards have floating memory. So you don't need to specifically banish a floating memory card if you have 10 attack cards that just all happen to be floating memory. And that's why milling might be important for the water strat. You have Invigorated Slash, which basically lets you swing in for 4, which can be really nifty. I personally really like Regulus Blitz. I think that's a super cool payoff card for Mordred. It's not even a big payoff card. It's just a very versatile, very good card. Swings in for 4. It has the intent effect that you banish a card with floating memory from grave, and then you negate each card activation you don't control unless controller plays 2. So it's basically a Frost Bind for Mordred. Then it also has a hand bonus or a hand effect that you pay to discard it, and then the next non-command attack card you activate doesn't rest its attacker, which means you can swing in twice, which is, again, pretty freaking nifty.
Okay. I might be wrong on this, but I think I heard said Striking Tides will actually be able to fulfill its full effect on its own, because it'll be there when the on hit finishes.
So on hit, so yeah, you play. So okay, I'm no GA judge, but in my mind, play the card, attack resolves, everything's good. I guess the card's technically in the intent, but like it has succeeded in the attack, so then it goes to grave, or it's in the process of going to grave. So then on hit, banish a card with floating memory, and then I guess it's kind of in grave. I don't know how cards process after the attack resolution, so that would be pretty nifty if it can then banish itself. That's actually kind of nasty.
Yeah. This right here is still the turn you go level 1. No, level 2. Was it level 2? No, level 2 is the one that makes your attack. So you can just drop all 3 of these for 3 attacks the turn you go level 2.
You know what? Your first one. So you'd play Invigorated Slash, which is free. No, because you would rest for that one. Mm-hmm. So you would play Striking Tides. And then, so that would play for 1. Banish it. Regulus Blitz. You paid a 3 for that. So you'd need 5 cards. And then, but you stopped this. So you would need a lot of cards in hand, because you would need, I think, a total of like 9 influence. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you'd need 9 influence to pull this combo off, but you could do it. You most certainly could. And swing in for 4, 8, 12 damage. That's a 9. 9 is a lot for 12 damage. I'm not going to hold you. CL does that on its EP days.
Well, I guess you wouldn't hit with the regular splits. You just pitch it. So you need 1 more attack, but you could just have another like Invigorated or something.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
Not counting a weapon if you somehow get one out, but
that would be what matters the most.
Weapon yet.
I'm interested to see what the weapons in the deck are, but oh no, not the Crux cards. Oh gosh, everything's out of order now. Thank you, my application, for messing this up.
I won't be surprised if he doesn't get a Mordred bonus. Just main materialize it.
I would love if he had something like that. Y'all are gonna see me flash through these cards because I'm trying to find it. Okay. Oh. All right, here it is.
Back it up.
So here is our Mordred level 3s. And I did say level 3s because Mordred got the Tristan treatment. We've got Mordred Faded Luminary, our second Norm Exalted level 3. Alice, Golden Queen. I can't remember what her actual card is called, but we do have Alice, Chessman Alice, as our first Norm Exalted level 3. Mordred is our second. And what would you know? He is the Fairy King, so it checks out that he would be both Norm Exalted as well as Luxem. His first level 3, Faded Luminary, both Mordred lineage, but this one says he can level up in the champions of the same base level. When he does, draw 2 cards. So in other words, if you DG from Mordred 3 into Mordred 3, that was free. You didn't pay anything except the cost of putting DG down, which is pretty nice. Otherwise, you could just hard level for 3 and then you're just essentially paying 1. And then he says, attack cards in your grave have floating memory and Ephemerate X, where X is that card's reserve cost. So he is just Mordred level 2, but better, which is fantastic, realistically speaking, for everything that the deck wants to do. Oh, okay.
Because of Mordred level 2 and this guy, you do actually just level up for +2 because you just have floating memory.
Yeah, if you're playing those attack cards like it's nobody's business. Yeah. All right, cool. Use my attack cards to level up his float, and then cool. I draw 2. And the cool thing is that yes, this does sidestep censor because the cards don't have floating memory. I think the way that like it checks out in terms of like the layering process or whatever, it says cards in your graveyard lose all abilities, but I think the way when Mordred applies, it's like after that or before. No, yeah, I think it's like after that or some shit like that. I was reading it during chat, so if you know, correct me down below. But I'm pretty sure it was that censor. No, I'm wrong. It doesn't sidestep censor.
You know how I feel about censor. I've written up paragraphs about it. if I ever run into like Scylla or anybody, I'm going to whip out the page that explains how it works in the rulebook. Be like, please read this out loud and then tell me censor works, because you can't do it.
Listen. All I'm gonna say is, if you remember, if you know, let me know down in the comments, because I don't want to speak out my ass and spread any more misinformation than I already have. But I thought I was reading something like that and I can't remember, so I'll defer to chat. However, I think the idea of it, especially the ephemerate's really cool, because it means that you get 2 uses out of things, which is, again, really cool. And then Mordred, level 3, Aurelian Regent, who is Luxem. So he has on enter, his next attack gets +3 power, and on hit, recover 3. And then whenever you activate a Luxem element card, you de-level Mordred. So it means that if you activate a Luxem card, Excalibur, you only get it once. Okay, that's a decent payoff. If you're gonna spend floating memory or cards from hand to level up into Mordred 3, Excalibur, de-level back to Fated Luminary, and then try to level up again, I mean, sure, that's the way you can choose to play the game. Not, do you win? Maybe. Do you, but maybe not. You know, I don't know. I haven't play tested the deck or anything. I just like the idea of it. Personally, I'm a big fan. People have their own thoughts. I'm super excited to play Mordred. I'm a Crux Lorraine main and also a Sad Tony enjoyer. So Mordred is the first.
Wait, is Tony sad or are you sad?
I'm sad. Did you see? No, I don't want to talk about it. I'm excited to have Mordred as like an actual second deck for me. I've been searching for one for a long time. I love Ahri. I don't think I could ever play Ahri in competition, because I'd get my back blown out, for lack of better wording. I am no Isam. I'm none of these players who are good with Ahri. It takes so much thinking and like meta knowledge to play Ahri that I don't have the time to commit right now. And I like Lorraine because I don't always like turning my brain off, but Lorraine just lets me be Unga Bunga Ice Swing Sword and I do things. But I can play it mid-range, which is super nice. And I like it. And Tony, I love Tony, but Tony drags his motherfucking games out too. So like, I like Lorraine and it looks like I might be able to enjoy Mordred. So I'm super excited for these cards. What's next on the docket here? Oh, Gildas, Face-Worn Monarch. So we get a new Gildas. She's a Norm Exalted, so you can only play her while you're at level 3. She's got this absolutely beautiful signature across her card art. Her card art is just like super colorful, super beautiful. She's a 4/3. As Silidar put it, she's permanently balanced, air quote. She has stealth and vigor and a Mordred bonus that you pay 2 and rest her and you prevent the next 4 damage that would be dealt to target unit's turn. But as long as you control another fairy ally, this ability costs 2 less to activate. Hey, guess what? Snow Fairy. Hey, guess what Snow Fairy has? Stealth. Hey, guess what? Snow Fairy, Gildas. And now she's a unique ally. You can't stack her. However, 2 stealth allies with Gildas being a freaking 4/3. So she has stealth, so she's innately already hard to get rid of. You're gonna have to try to target her with ping spells, but you're gonna have to do it for a total of 7 because she effectively, air quote, has 7 life. But if you say, all right, cool, we'll just leave her alone, she's gonna smack you every turn for 4. And then with Mordred, she's just gonna be, you know, chilling around and, oh, you wanna hit my boy for 4? Nah, I don't know about that. Nah, not in this house. Like, Gildas? Now, I think she's a UR, right, Panzer? This is CSR. This is CSR.
It's UR.
I don't recall I gotta go
No,
through
the
pages.
regular art was
So
on
sorry.
there. It's a UR.
Ah, here we go. Yeah, so she's a UR. I don't recall. Do we get the playset of URs in the deck, or is it just one?
I would assume so because it's a recon, a reco.
I can't remember past decks, so I honestly can't say.
Every recollection I have has full playsets of everything. So
that's what I would assume, but
Seiryu was the UR and
but the UR was the Fate Stone.
Yeah, all the
right?
URs and the other ones I think were in the material deck.
Right. I don't even know. They weren't. That's the thing. I don't remember what the URs were in the other decks. So if you know, let me know down in the comments below what the previous URs were, because it would be awesome if you get a playset of URs, because that's the idea. You know, you buy more to get your playset of URs. But what is the UR for Sylvie? Slime King? Is it?
We're gonna
you know
find
what?
out.
It's probably Slime King. I'm placing my bets on Slime King. Hold on. Yeah, it's Slime King. You got a playset of Slime King.
Find it myself.
No,
Yep,
I didn't let you find it.
Yep.
Okay, so cool. So we get a playset of Gildises, which for a card of Gildis's like value, whew, like now that's a well put together recollection deck. We haven't even talked about like the other cards. That's all just like the heavy hitters. That was the champion and Gildis.
Yep.
Right, so we have Warrior and Trickster of the Fey Realms. They're both fairies, and because they're fairies, they have stealth, because fairies are tiny. You can't fucking see them. You can't get rid of them, right? So Warrior Fairy, banish a sword attack card from hand or memory. If you do, draw a card in memory. All right, cool. You get a little bit of a sort of like filter effect. And then, as long as you control Warrior of the Fey Realm, you may activate the banished card on a later turn. And you want to know what's pretty cool about that? What I learned, I don't remember when I learned it, but I learned this at some point after our last pod, or maybe it was like around that time frame. When you activate a card from banishment, that card then goes to grave.
Yep. Resolves normally.
Right. So yeah, it resolves normally. I just thought it was like, okay, activate from banishment, stays in banishment. No, that card goes to grave. So, okay, cool. You get to banish a card with floating memory, draw a card, activate said card with floating memory, and then once it resolves, goes to your graveyard to actually be floating memory, making this Warrior of the Fey Realm another mini Frostborn Paladin.
Also, it goes back to grave, so you can just Warrior the Fey Realm it again.
Exactly. Well, no, this one's from hand or memory, so it doesn't take from grave.
Oh,
but
yeah.
considering your deck is probably going to play what? I would say you're probably going to play around 20 attack cards or so. That sounds about right.
I don't play attack card decks, so.
Oh, so I would imagine you're playing around 20, because I typically play like 8 in Lorraine, and then I play anywhere from like 10 to 14 floating memory. So yeah, I'd expect somewhere between around 20 attack cards, considering that that's going to be your floating memory.
And you only attack like once or twice in the rain, not 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. So that card's really cool. Trickster looks at top 5, banishes up to 2, and then put the rest on back on the top in any order. So it's like a weird sort of glimpse. And then on leave, you get to return the banished cards to the top of the deck in any order. So it's this way of saying, hey, I'm banishing these 2 cards, and if you decide to deal with Trickster, I get those 2 cards back, depending on what they are. You might want to get them out of the way because they're not useful to you right now. They might actually be useful to you, and you want to save them for later. You might want the other cards more. There's tons of cool things you can do. I don't know if this will stay in the deck, like when you actually build it out in RDO, but I like the idea of it a lot.
You hit their top 5 and you see the dungeon guide there. You take the dungeon guide, they kill her later, and you're like, here's this dungeon guide now that you're already leveled up.
Yep, exactly. So some other cards we have here, we've got a really cool Regalia polearm for him, which is Exalted, so can't play it till you're at level 3. Spell Shroud, beautiful. I love weapons with Spell Shroud as a Lorraine main. Mordred bonus, if your opponent's drawing cards, you say fuck you. That's how I read this card. It actually says, as long as your opponent has, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be cursing as much as that. As long as your opponent has influence 8 or more, it gets +4 power, making this a 6/3 weapon. So if your opponent says, I want to play Creative Shock, you say, all right, cool. Make sure that hand's at a 7 or less. Because when I get to my level 3, I'm coming for that ass, boy. Like,
you're really going to want to play Wind against Mordred and just reduce all your damage for the turn. Because otherwise he's hitting you for like 10 to 12 damage 3-4 times.
Yeah. The second bonus is really cool too. Or effect, not bonus. When a durability counter is removed from Rangamiant, I don't know. You may return a card from your memory to hand. So it's like a little bit of an agility without being agility. You get one card back, which I find pretty nifty.
You can get
it does cost 2
in a turn.
Oh yeah, I guess you can. And hey, you know what I love, Panzer? You know what one of my favorite cards in the game is? This lovely card called Sansa Weapon Master. Mordred's,
Didn't you
Mordred's
pick up,
a warrior.
Was it the CSR too? Didn't you grab one?
I got one and I need to get 3 more. I went to look at them today and they've all been bought out, and I was very sad.
You already have
and
your Pantheon playset. You're good.
And I do have my Pantheon playset of Sansas. I love that with this because that makes this a base of 3, 4, which means I get an extra use out of it. Which is.
Do we get any good polearm attacks in? No, there's a Wind. The new polearm attacks that we just got were Wind. But I expect to see more polearm attacks in RDO because they'll probably have Jin support as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially since Mordred got an actual polearm and not just another sword, which is cool. Because as much as I like swords, polearms are cooler, let's be honest.
They do usually win that rock, paper, scissors.
You know what's cooler than a polearm? A glaive. Well, I mean, granted, this is a glaive for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Yes, glaives.
I never understood what the actual
halberds.
difference was. I think glaives just have like a longer blade.
Yeah, it's all about the blade and what they use. Because like a halberd is like a mixture of like a axe.
That one
with a
swings
stabby
and pokes.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's swing and poke. A glaive is a little bit more like it's supposed to be more lightweight. And then obviously, generally a polearm doesn't have anything on the end, is what I would assume. It's just or I guess maybe it does. When I think of polearm, I think of like just a wooden stick. I don't necessarily think about the weapon part of it.
Just put the pointy side towards the enemy. It all works.
Yeah, exactly.
I love this card for all the people who also dabble in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's just going to give them all kinds of PTSD.
Why?
Rongo. If you know, you know.
Rongo? I don't, but I'll look it up. While I look that up, Dauntless Assault's another exalted attack, just on attack, wake up the attacker, which is, what Mordred's about. Luminescent Slash. So this is like your sort of combo payoff when you get to Fated Luminary. Cost 2 less to activate for each other attack card you've activated this turn, so you can basically get it down to 0 if you wanted to. Base 6 and then gets +2 for each other attack card you've activated this turn, which means that if you have gotten this down to the free part, this card costs nothing and swings for 10. And if you're comboing and slinging attacks, yeah, you're doing a lot of damage here.
This thing's insane. I sent you Rongo, by the way, so you can get the live reaction.
All right, I'll read Rongo. Let me pull up the next set of stuff because all of my cards are out of order, and I'm very upset with my computer for doing so. Rongo, once per turn during your. Am I looking at the right one? Number 86. Okay. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, detach. Can't be destroyed in battle. Gains 1500 to 3000 during your opponent's end phase. Okay, and then unaffected by other card effects. Your opponent can't normal special, so you can destroy all cards your opponent control.
Yeah, he just makes it so your opponent can't play the game for a turn, and you kill them.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah,
that's nasty.
It's basically Excalibur.
It is basically Excalibur. Yeah.
Yep. Which we're gonna be living in that world very, very soon.
It won't be bad. You'll be fine. I won't play it too much. I promise.
Oh yeah, they de-level and the next turn they draw 2. Oh, I drew the other Excalibur.
So one cool thing about RDO we've got coming in are angels and the angel archetype. So we've got a new set of angels for every basic element, as well as advanced element, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So cauterizing, seraphim, font, and gosh, I can't speak.
Oh, you're on the element ones right now. We got the norms up.
Oh, no, I'm stupid. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one.
They're all good angels, though. I don't think a single angel read bad.
The angels, Haniel read bad, but we'll get to Haniel later. We'll get to Haniel later. Angelic, benediction, and reverent seraphim. So these are all advanced imbues, meaning that whatever advanced element you're playing, it's super generic and just lets you reveal those. It's the same thing as regular imbue, but for advanced elements, which is really nifty. Angelic is, as long as it's imbued, it gains intercept and retort too. Retort means that it applies an extra 2 damage when it's retaliating. So cool, this is swinging in for 2-3, and then if it is retaliating, it's going to actually deal 4. The Benediction Angel is draw a card in memory and recover 2. So as it was put during the stream, it's a sort of air quote generic windmill engineer, which I find really cool as a Tony enjoyer because I'm a nut and I regularly run a 20 card Neos package. So hey, 20 card Neos package, I don't need to play my windmill engineer for my advantage anymore. I have Benediction Angel.
Yeah, between this thing and some of the other stuff we know is coming for RDO, my Terra package for Kongmi might get a little obscene. We'll get into Terra Kongmi really early and then just be immortal.
That's the goal with Tony. I'm trying to get into Tony 3 as fast as possible, and then I'm just trying to make everybody hate that they played against me.
I'm switching the Dow chan. We're blowing everything up.
The one time you pulled that off, that was funny AF.
I felt so good until
until you
just banished both of my flower cash-ins. I had 6 influence down. And I hit both of them.
That would be your luck. Reverent Seraphim is as long as it's imbued, other allies get -1 power, which can be really nice against those pesky aggro decks, especially as it has 3 life. So you can put this really down.
Good. And there's another good RDO anti-ally card.
Yeah, for sure. Now we get to the actual basic element angels, Cauterizing, Font, and Tempestus. Cauterizing is basically a damage dealing because it's fire. What else is fire doing? If it's imbued,
up to 4.
Yeah, up to 4. Font is until the beginning of your next turn. Allies your opponent control enter the field rested. So it's a mixture of abilities there, and it has Taunt as a 1/4. So it's a little bit really like it's not like Froggen that doesn't have floating memory, but for what it's able to do because of again ally decks, cool. I come in as a 1/4. Everything that you play is going to enter rested, and it's a 1/4 taunt. So good luck getting rid of it. And then Tempestuous. Fast activation. As a spell. If it's imbued, deal 4 damage to target attacking ally. Hello, Frostworn Paladin. Very nice to meet you. I'm glad to finally have you out of my life. I love these cards because I love that they're advanced imbues. I love that there's a payoff for playing advanced elements for these effects,
and
while also being generic.
Fire Vanitas or Wind Pocock so that we can run both of these.
Hey, you know what? Before you get there, let's get to some other cards, okay? Let's get to some other cards. And then we'll talk about Fire, Wind, Vanitas, and other things.
I just want to put those 2 in together, because then you can Expeditious the Fire one to clear boards, or if they just play one dude and you just play the Tempestuous.
So this is Haniel. This was revealed way
this was the first angel we got, I believe, or second one.
Yeah,
the first angel we got was the turning herbs into mystery herb.
I don't remember that one.
It was one of the first RDO ones we saw because it's when you would make an herb that you already have one of. I think you can make it into some we haven't seen what it does herb.
Okay. I'll need to look that one up. This, I love the art. This art, crazy good. Oh my goodness. I fire art. Effect, I hate this effect, straight up and honestly. So it's a Luxum and Umbra imbue. And then if it's imbued, put a debuff counter on target ally you don't control. Put a buff counter on Haniel and recover 1. So the reason I don't like this is because you pay 3 and it's a 2/2 that recovers 1. And sorry, let me rephrase that. It's a 3, you pay 3 for a 3/3 that recovers 1. I feel like I would rather play any other angel that was revealed. But like, this is obviously for Luxum and Umbra. I just don't see a world where you necessarily care to play this. Now, that's me personally. I could be wrong. I'm not, I'm not a big card judge. But my first impression of this, I was very whelmed. And as much as fire as the art is, the effect seems super lackluster to me.
I think she'll be good in those ones when they want to play a little greedier as just an answer early. Because if your opponent plays anything 3/3 or like even a 3/4,
that's fair.
You win the stat line.
Yeah.
If you're trying to beat their face in and they're going 0/4 frogs or 1/4s, you beat those.
What? You know what? I've reversed. I haven't done a 180. I've done a 90. I'll go perpendicular for now. I like that idea because frogs are a pain in the ass. And being able to deal with a frog is.
She doesn't read like as a slam dunk like the other ones. She's not as flashy. But she's going to be that thing where like just a bit of tempo swing that she does by just switching the stats just the right way to be able to punch over stuff is going to be a real pain.
Yeah. Okay. That's a very good point. I agree. Our next angel is Azrael, Archangel of Materia. So he is an Exia and Neos imbue. On enter, as a spell, if he's imbued, you destroy another target non-regalia, non-champion object with reserve cost of 3 or less. Then its owner summons a spirit shard token. So basically, it's a way to get rid of Husky, Frostworn. You're going to notice I just say like Frostworn Paladin a lot because Frostworn Paladins are like one of the toughest cards to deal with in the game if you don't have an answer for it. An early Frostworn Paladin could quickly mean death for you. As I'm sure many of you know, the Frostworn Paladin that has Intercept and is swinging in for 3 every turn that can't be dealt with because it has 4 life is pretty freaking tough. So...
Why do you think everything in this set does 4 damage? Hey, you know what beats it?
What?
Haniel turns it into a 2/3.
Right, exactly. So, another mechanic of dealing with Frostborn Paladins, but it doesn't just deal with Frostborn Paladins. It's anything with a reserve cost of 3 or less. So it's really nifty because it can basically poke off most things, especially like ally decks, for example. I would play this in Tony because I play a 20 card Neos package to be like, okay, cool. Imbue this angel and I don't know what's out there. Lurking assailants and like stealth things. And
is there anything that has on death make an automaton? I know there's like on death power cells, right?
Yes, there is it's a furnace drone, but I don't think he's 3 cost.
No,
he might be
4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a 4 cost.
Yeah, because he was part of the Ombre shenanigans we were looking at.
I lied. He doesn't make an automaton drone. He makes he just does damage. Yeah. I was wrong.
But I mean, anything that makes a token when it dies, you just pop that and you've added 1 object for your Tony count.
Yeah, exactly. I like this. I like this card a lot.
You know what Tony we actually use it with? You pop it and you make 2 swords.
Yes, this is true. You just go for sword OTK. It is most certainly a viable strat. Next up, we've got Raziel, Archangel of Libra. Now, I'll be honest. This is a Gunnar card if I've ever seen it. Like, when it came on the screen, I like looked at my wife and I was like,
I need to clear my browser history just looking at this card.
I was like, yeah, this is Yeah, this is Grand Archive at its finest. This is what I'm here for, though, I guess, right? So Raziel is Arcane and Astral Imbue. If imbued, banish 2 cards at random from your memory. Oh, right. If you do, glimpse 3 and put the top 2 cards of your deck into your memory. So, yeah, this is pretty freaking good for Rai. But you know what else this is pretty good for? I'm just gonna draw my Cosmic Bolts as Ari, and then I'm gonna banish 2 so I can pump my damage up on every other Cosmic Bolt by 4, but then I still get to replace 2 cards. And oh wait, I glimpsed, right? Yep. So I should hopefully then get to, after I banish those 2 cards, glimpse into a Cosmic Bolt, and now hold this 10 damage, noob.
So if I remember right, Star Calling, when you start calling, it bottoms everything else you're glimpsing at immediately, right?
Yes.
So you'll end up just drawing 2 random cards too. That's fine.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. This is, I'll say it right now, even before we finish this pod. I love everything they're doing with RDO. These cards are so good for going beyond the basic, I don't want to necessarily go to level 3 strat. Like everything here, I already like level 3s. So this just makes me enjoy playing level 3s more than I already did. Our last one we've got is Ariel, the Archangel of Natura. She is a Crux and Terra imbue.
This one's so good.
If imbued, reveal top card of deck, put it in material deck preserved, and then you may banish a card from your mat deck. If you do, she gets +3 to the end of turn.
It's so good in Kongming.
I was gonna say, I know you love this for Kongming. I'm a dirty Crux Lorraine enjoyer. This is another fluffy fucking shopkeep without the card draw, but this means I banish sword. I am 4/3. I swing at you for 4, and then I have that extra sword in banishment for Crux Lorraine.
It's true.
Like, oh, and then I get to materialize. Like, one problem with Lorraine is that she does tend to run out of steam in her mat deck because she plays 6 to 7 fucking swords. So by the time you hit level 3, your options to materialize things are like null and void, non-existent. So this just says draw 1 effectively. It replaces itself because I'm not going to material unless, you know, I don't know. I could materialize some other weapon, but generally speaking, I might just like Spirit Blade something. So this just lets me go, cool, draw a card and then draw a card for turn. Play this again.
Her in Kongming, this is going to lean more into my ideas for like the really Terra heavy. So we're going to try and like basically kind of high roll to get into level 3 right away to turn the whole deck on. Okay. That's one of Terra's problems.
What base element? Water or wind? I'm gonna assume water. Am I right?
It might actually be wind just because of a DTR card, which is cracked with some of this new stuff. It's I don't remember its name. It's part of that Alice shenanigans I showed you. It's the one that suppresses 3 things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. It's an exalted, right?
Hit, I think maybe actually it might be. It might break my idea. I'll have to go back and look at it.
Because I know there's
this. You could hit the Benediction Angel. You can also hit that Tempestuous. So your opponent plays something and you're like, response, suppress 3 things. I'll preserve a card. I'll gain 2 life, draw a card in memory, and I will shoot that thing for 4.
You know what? I mean, yeah, that is pretty nasty.
I think it's fast speed. I have to go back and look. I'm doing this kind of from memory of a card I looked at a month ago. So
it's Imperious Galebind. It is exalted. Suppress up to 3 target allies, items, or weapons.
Is it fast speed?
Break. It is fast speed.
Yes.
But it is exalted, so you will have to be Kongming first.
That's all right. We haven't seen the cards that let you speed up mages, but we'll find them eventually.
Oh yeah, I love this card. I just,
But this one's really good, yeah, because if you do hit the Terra card, if you're going Terra heavier, it's just one more thing for the recover. And if you go into Kongming and you're at full health, like they have to one-shot you in a turn.
Yeah, exactly. Kongming, I've seen Kongming get out of hand, and I did not realize Kongming could get out of hand as she does, as quickly as she does it.
Oh, you haven't seen with like the new Terra stuff either, have you?
No. I need to pick those cards up too from A and B Ultra.
Wait till you see, sir, next turn, if you don't kill me, my influence is going to be 15.
You know what? It's fine. I'll play Mordred, and I'll just be like, hey, buddy, see that hand? Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. This is another reason to play Wind, is to gain stealth for a turn while you're doing that combo.
Oh, yeah. So this is, you'll notice this is the same art, or not the same art, let me rephrase that. This is the same Angel, Ariel, but it's a different card. So this is Seraphic Legion's Descent, Norm Exalted Fantasia. That is essentially an Angel tutor.
Hi, Daniel!
Welcome in.